Book Club, ladies and gentlemen, we are celebrating the America 250 celebration each and every month this year. And I'm excited to bring over to the show for the very first time, Dr. Ashley Lucas. Now, you guys have been hearing all of my conversations about my weight loss journey, the celebration of having a second chance at life, and really just the encouragement of going from lack of confidence to an abundance in confidence in both my mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual health. And I owe a lot, 95% of that, to Dr. Ashley Lucas and PhD weight loss and nutrition. So we're going to be talking with Dr. Ashley Lucas, and this is not going to be the last time. This is going to be one of many times that we bring her over to the show. Also, I'm going to hold up for those on the YouTube channel. This is her book, 5 Steps to Reset Your Scale. So please help me welcome to the show, Dr. Ashley Lucas. It's an honor to have you here. Thank you for being here.
Oh my gosh, my pleasure. I'm excited about this.
So I feel like the audience already has a hint about who you are, because I have been telling them each and every weekend about really how you saved my life in so many different ways. And you're like, you have heard me talk about this, but you really have transformed my way of thinking on health. And I want to kind of step back as I applaud you and say, give you a huge brava. But I want to step back and say, really, how did you come to this point to set up this opportunity for people to see their lives in a totally different manner? There must have been a huge inspiration behind this.
Yeah, I think whenever we create something that's able to help others, it comes from some kind of challenge, likely that we've experienced in our own life. And that was definitely the case for me. I came from a background of ballet dancing. My mom put me in ballet when I was a young girl. I was 4 years old. I absolutely loved it, but my body didn't physically conform very easily. It didn't come naturally to me. I wasn't naturally lean. And so I always had to fight and push. And, I had a fairly successful career because I'm persistent. And I was obsessed with that art form, that sport. I loved it. And so I would push through multiple stress fractures in my feet. I probably performed in over 400 Nutcracker performances. Most of the time, stress fractures in my feet, in my low back, because I was chronically under eating. I was restricting calories. I, did all the stuff we're told to do of eat less and move more and don't eat meat and avoid fat, because if you eat fat, you're going to get fat. I did all those things and I was still struggling with my own body. So I danced with professional companies, a few different ones throughout the States. And I was selected to perform up in New York City. Everyone.
The Mecca, the
right.
dream.
The Joyce Theater. I remember it. And I thought, okay, finally, I've made it. This is where we all want to end up if we're a dancer. And instead of finding myself in the spotlight of those once in a lifetime performances, I landed in the ER. I had no idea what was going on, thought I was having a heart attack. And after a whole bunch of tests, the doctors just said I couldn't perform anymore. I was underfed. I was over exercised, and my body was just shutting down. So that was huge for me. It was, I look at it like the equivalent of Michael Phelps being ready to jump in the pool for his Olympic level swim and then carting him off and saying, you can't swim again. Your body just can't handle it anymore. So that's what started me on my quest to learning about metabolism. I knew that there had to be a way. I come from a family of health practitioners who really like to get to the root of disease, and they're not okay taking medications. They're not okay just saying, okay, the body is injured, you're going to have to deal with it. There should be a way to heal the root cause. So I went back to school, earned my PhD in sports nutrition and chronic disease to study that, to help others overcome the challenges that I had in my own life. It took all my thought. It was an obsession around food, what to eat next. I was hungry all the time. No matter what I did, I had belly fat, inflamed, injured. So super grateful actually for that opportunity to push and propel me toward learning more so that I could serve many more people and help folks overcome the challenge that our body gives us if we're not listening to it and giving it the right inputs.
Well, you highlighted something. Your body was telling you at that point after you'd worked so hard, and it was basically saying, I'm done. That's it. And so many of us get to that point because of our targeted stress, because of our circumstances of this culture, the nonstop on the go, all the travel, the stressors of work, the stressors of home, all of those things compact and say, and then your body says, enough is enough. And you have opened up basically this haven for people to say, you provide coaches, you provide a powerful plan that walks with people and meets them where they are. Mm-hmm. And you are able to do that. Can you basically share with the audience what a day in the life is like for people to say, you know what? I'm at that point. I'm at that breaking point. I am at that breaking point, and this could be the answer. And more than likely it is.
So are you asking, Eden, what a day in the life looks like if you're a part of the PhD program?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, so I took years to create the PhD program, and through it there was a lot of trial and error. And I realized that in order to see success, the program has to be as simple as possible, right? Complexity is the enemy of execution. And I have really worked to streamline the program and provide the necessary tools for folks because we all learn differently. Our body is all different. So I know that one way won't work for everyone. So what are the tools that are required for most people to see success? So number one is we create a customized meal plan for you. And that's what you had, Eden, right? You knew exactly what, when, and how much to eat. I think there are so many programs out there that just say, minimize this or consider this, or, you could try this, and it's overwhelming.
It is.
And so you will be given a list of foods to eat and a list of foods that you're not going to eat for this moment. Mm-hmm. And there is a reason behind the foods in each group. And you will learn that, because I also think education and understanding the science is really key to be able to make decisions. Mm-hmm. Instead of saying, oh, I wish I could eat that, but I can't, and I don't know why. You know exactly. So you can make an informed decision, and we'll never tell you you can't eat that, but we're going to say, hey, for the moment, this isn't serving your body. So you might want to consider not eating it because it does this. Mm-hmm. I found that for the people who we work with, they're very, educated, they're high performers. Yes. Like you said, busy lifestyle, and they want to understand what's happening in the body so they can feel empowered in their decision making. So a very clear meal plan, taking out all the guesswork, the macros that will work for you. So you don't have to worry about how many grams of this or that, or put it into a tracker like MyFitnessPal, none of that. Right. People are moving, like you said, so quickly throughout the day. It needs to be easy and it needs to be available. Yes. We provide a lot of the food at no additional cost if you want to use it. Right. You don't have to use it. Right. A lot of people are thinking, maybe when I'm saying this, oh gosh, I don't want to do that. I'm going to be dependent on the food. I've tried that before. It is not about that, you guys. This is all about empowerment. So we will ship some food to you for free. It will land on your doorstep. It's not like Blue Apron or HelloFresh. It's not about gourmet dining for a reason. There is a scientific reason behind that, but it's there for you as a tool. The dinner is your responsibility. So breakfast will be something super simple. It would be maybe a protein-based item that comes from us, like an oatmeal or a pancake if you like that. You would put real butter on top of it. It tastes good. You can add an egg. You can do eggs and bacon. It's not a keto diet. I know when I say eggs and bacon, people are like, oh my gosh, this is just Atkins. And it is not. Just giving you some examples. So simple and quick and convenient, but nutritious, nourishing the body. Snacks throughout the day, especially at the beginning, to start to heal the metabolism. Lunch could be an item from us with your own veggies or your own protein, but we'll tell you what and how much. Healthy fats, nothing diet. I don't know if it surprised you, Eden, but we're all about butter, real full fat dressing.
I loved it. I loved it. And as I was, if you will, edumacating my mother, saying,
Mhm.
I can have butter, I can have cream cheese,
Yeah,
and don't get all of the low fat or sugar free yogurts because those are doing you a disservice.
that's right.
You get the full Greek yogurt. I live on that. And
Hmm.
it gives me so much energy.
Yeah.
That's the component there. I think people are not making in the fast paced life, we're running ourselves ragged.
Hmm.
So
Are.
your program provides an increase of energy and
Hmm.
an increase of ability to understand how our bodies work. But it also, this is the kicker for people. I am an emotional eater and I had to break that habit, good and bad. Good emotion, bad emotion. I had to kick that habit, and that was really hard.
How'd you do it?
My amazing coach, Sherry, and by the grace of God, my sassiness, I realized because there's fasting in the Bible and they talk about it for a reason. And there's that physical and emotional fast. And that's what broke me down, but built me back up. Because every time Sherry called me, she was reminding me of that. And it hit me early on. No more emotional eating. No more emotional eating.
That's
And I was
massive.
raised around emotional eaters.
Mm.
And I love my family, but it's an emotional eating component. And I think
Hmm.
it's a northern thing too. Obviously, we both live in North Carolina, but I think I see that northern comfort food. You go for the comfort food, the good, warm comfort food.
I think
And
we all do.
yeah, yeah. So, can you talk a little bit to the emotional thing? And I want to say this, I want to use this data point. I've noticed that I think it's estimated about 70% of Americans are obese due to what we put in our mouths, due to the lifestyles we live, and due to even when we're traveling, we are such a high impact, high traveling society, and the things that we put in are not necessarily going to feed us well. And
No.
so going back to that 70%, I also think the emotional component
Mm-hmm.
plays a huge role.
80% of any change comes from the mind.
Mm.
And when we think about weight loss, this is a massive change. I look at weight loss as a process of letting go of the fat weight that no longer serves us and all of the emotions that are tied to it.
Mhm.
I don't know if I am going to explain this clearly, but I almost look at weight loss like the rings on a tree trunk. You know, if you cut a tree and you see the rings, with
Yeah.
each level that we scale down on the scale and that we drop every 10 pounds or whatever that might be, it's kind of like we hit those emotions that came up in our life when we were at that weight. And if we don't work through that, then we get stuck. We might be able to uh, kind of fake our way through it.
Mhm.
But ultimately, we're not going to be able to keep the weight off for good if we haven't let those emotions go through each ring of the weight loss as well.
Yes.
So I don't want to share this in a way that it feels overwhelming or daunting, or you're like, oh my gosh, I just want to drop the weight. I don't want to do the deep work.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you that to keep the weight off for good, if you want to really keep the weight off for good, there's no way around but through. And
Yeah.
and it's liberating and it feels so good and it's empowering. So I think being excited about
Mhm.
that opportunity to just release and let go, and you're letting go of physical weight and mental weight and emotional weight. So
Yes.
yes, the mental, emotional, the habit behavior is 80% of the journey. I
Mhm.
love that part. It just excites me. You can probably hear that in my voice. And so our coaches are really on top of that and they have a lot of training. We're not therapists. We're not going to go back and dig deep into your childhood. I
Yeah.
do, if that's a thing for you, I think having support with that is huge. But we are going to take you where you are right now and drive you forward. And with that, it is emotions. It's recognizing what are those triggers and how do you change those neural pathways. The great thing about neuroscience, we now know we have neuroplasticity. There's a way to overcome. We can deviate those pathways, which you did, Eden, and which is required if you actually want to keep the weight off for good. So There can be a variety of different triggers. It could be some stress from work, like you mentioned,
Yep.
right? You
Yeah.
get an email from work, and you're thinking, "Oh my gosh, what the heck? I'm going to go eat this Hershey Kiss that's on my desk right
Yeah.
now." By the
Exactly.
way,
Yeah.
if you're going to drop weight, do not have candy on your desk.
Exactly. Exactly. That's one great tip. But the other great tip is when you go into the supermarket and they watch your YouTube clips, you basically go on the outskirts of the supermarket.
Yeah.
You don't need to go down the inner aisles because
Mhm.
that's where you're not going to find the most nutritious thing. It's
That's
on the
very true.
outside. Yeah.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. Just
Yeah,
a tip. Just a tip.
yep. Your environment is always stronger than your willpower. So you've got to yourself up for success. If you come home and there's this, junk or treats all
Mhm.
around the house and you say, "Oh, I just don't have any willpower. I just need more discipline." That is not the case. You need to let go of those sabotaging thoughts and set yourself up for success and get your environment in order. So if there's one thing you take away from today is take a look at your environment, and is it setting you up for success? If you have a spouse, you have a partner, you have kids that don't eat the way you need to, that's okay. But you can still ask them and still find a way to get the foods that serve you in front of your eyes. And theirs can be away in a cupboard or an opaque dish or something like that, where you don't have to stare at it all day. So
Yeah.
there's lots of ways to get around it, but sometimes it's very helpful to have coaching and accountability. I think a coach is great because they're going to tell you things that you don't necessarily want to hear, but you need
Yep.
to hear. They take
Yep.
the emotion out of it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you had any kind of more harder coaching sessions where Sherry was.
She was good.
Yeah.
She was very good. She held me very accountable. She was always there, always good. She kept me in line.
Mhm.
And, being a sassy girl from the North, I mean, I appreciate the fact that she originally was from there. That helped. And
Yeah.
so having that accountability is huge. It
Mhm.
really is. I mean, you have developed an amazing coaching program that is very transformative for this audience. I'm looking at the time. We have under 2 minutes left. So I
Okay.
want to hit a couple things, knowing that you're going to be back and we're going to be talking about a lot of other topics. I want to zero in just really quickly, and this will be a setup for the next interview we bring you back for. But Secretary Kennedy is transforming our health and transforming our lifestyle here in the United States. And I have no doubt in my mind that there is a lot of similarities between what you guys are doing at PhD Weight Loss and Nutrition and what he is really wanting to implement with making America healthy again. What are your initial thoughts on just the overview of HHS and transforming our nation's health?
So hopeful for the
Yeah.
first time ever.
Yeah.
We really are Maha boots on the ground,
Mm-hmm.
taking the new policies that are being implemented, the food pyramid. I mean, what did you think, Eden, when you saw the
I
food
loved it.
pyramid?
I was cheering. I was cheering.
Yeah,
I was standing up and applauding. I'm like, finally, it makes
finally.
sense.
So massive. So great. I mean, you look at the food pyramid and it's our permitted food list.
I know. Exactly.
I
To
mean,
it.
it gives me goosebumps.
Yeah.
So I am hopeful. I'm encouraged. We need to just continue, right? The foods that we subsidize, our kids' school lunches are,
Yes.
there's so many things that are a mess. And it's the reason why 70% of us are obese, came from somewhere. So I am encouraged. I am so grateful to see the food pyramid. I love that he's talking about these high sugar drinks
Yes.
and bringing awareness to those. At least it's all about awareness, I think, is the first step. And I love that.
Yeah. No, I truly applaud his work and his forward thinking because we've needed this for such a long time. And we have about 30 seconds left. So I want to send people to PhD Weight Loss and then invite them to come back to the show because we're going to have you come back. We're going to talk about sugary drinks. We're going to talk about
Okay.
our future generation, and we're going to talk about dive even deeper into really making our families healthy again.
Great.
Looking forward to doing that. So, best place to go, PhD Weight Loss, Dr. Ashley Lucas. Where would you like to send them?
Let's see. So the website is myphdweightloss.com. And you can also give us a call. We're real people, love to answer the phone. And our phone number is 864-644-1900. That's 864-644-1900 or myphdweightloss.com.
And for all of those who are tuning in and who decide to take this new journey, also put my name in and you
Yes.
get a huge discount. You get 2 weeks free and free food. I mean, this is the way to start. And then you have the support of Dr. Ashley Lucas and myself coming alongside of you as you do this new life transforming journey. So, Dr. Ashley, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. My pleasure.